the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2, LG G3 Beat, HTC Desire 816, Sony Xperia T2 Ultra, and even the new Moto G. What do these devices have in common? All these sport 720p displays and are powered by the Snapdragon 400 chipset. Now, Xiaomi's come out with the Redmi 1S, a phone sporting a 720p display that's powered by the Snapdragon 400 chipset, but it costs a fraction of what the other manufacturers charge. Seems like a deal that's just too good to be true, and the general rule is, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, in this video, let's take a closer look at the Redmi 1S and see if it's as good a deal as it seems to be. Before we do that, if this is your first time here, or in case you've plain old forgotten, my name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching my full review of the Xiaomi Redmi 1S. Let's get started. As always, let's start with the built-in design. The Redmi 1S is built out of plastic. To the front, on top, we have a 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera, sensors and earpiece. Lower below, we've got a 4.7-inch 720p display, and at the bottom, the familiar menu, home and back capacitive keys. Note that these keys are in backlit, so it's gonna take a bit of getting used to. Below that, we've got a little notification LED. To the back, we've got the secondary noise-cancelling microphone, an 8 megapixel rear camera, LED flash and rear speaker. At the bottom, we've got the Mi branding. The back is user removable, and inside we've got two full-size SIM slots with SIM 1 supporting 3G and SIM 2 being restricted to 2G. And right below we find a user replaceable 2000 mAh battery. To the top we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack, the volume rockers and the power button to the right, primary microphone and micro USB port at the bottom, and nothing to the left. The Redmi 1S isn't too heavy and feels solid. The sides being curved result in helping hide the 9.9mm thickness. The 1S feels good in hand. No issues with grip here. It's also pretty comfortable to use single-handed. Also note that the display is covered by a layer of Corning Gorilla Glass 2 or Dragon Tail Glass depending on the market the Redmi 1S is being sold. Here in India, the Redmi 1S uses Dragon Tail Glass. Talking about the display, the IPS LCD display that Xiaomi's used here is very good. 720 pixels spread over 4.7 inches gives it a pixel density of 312 pixels per inch. It's bright, sharp enough, reproduces colors quite accurately, and offers acceptable viewing angles. Keep in mind it does tend to attract a lot of fingerprints and is a bit too reflective. But despite that, the display is bright enough to hold up well under direct sunlight. Now underneath the hood, the Redmi 1S packs in a Snapdragon 400 chipset. That's 4 Cortex A7 cores clocked at 1.6 GHz each. That's a higher clock speed than some of the devices that I mentioned earlier. This is coupled with an Adreno 305 GPU and 1 GB of RAM. Synthetic benchmark results are better or on par with other devices with the same chipset inside. And Adreno 305, as expected, handles most games well, even some intensive ones. Well, audio levels via the sole rear speaker are average at best. Call quality and audio via the 3.5mm headphone jack are very good. Now let's move on to the camera. The 8 megapixel rear camera sports a 28mm wide-angle lens with an f/2.2 aperture. This camera can shoot some really good pictures, on par with flagships from a couple of years back. Images are detailed, noise is kept to a minimum, color reproduction spot on, and macro shots produce beautiful bokehs thanks to the wide aperture. The larger than usual 1.4 micron pixel size means low light shots are pretty good too. Additionally, this camera can also shoot 1080p videos at 30 frames per second, and again it continues to impress. Software stabilization is good and it resolves plenty of detail. The user interface complements the solid hardware here. It's similar to what we've seen on the Mi 3 and the Mi 4. While it gives you enough options to tweak almost anything you want, it can also remain simple enough for you to just shoot. Xiaomi's experience with software shines here. The UI nails the right mix of simplicity with functionality. Now so far, the Redmi 1S has been impressive. Yes, there have been a few shortcomings like the lack of backlit keys, the thick bezels, the reflective display, but these were to be expected given the price. But next up, we get to the Redmi 1S's weakest link, battery life. As of today, the battery life is bad. There's no other way to say it. The Redmi 1S struggled to last me through a day on a single charge, and that is with moderate usage. But again, that being said, all's not bad here. The good news is that this seems to be more of an issue with the software rather than the hardware itself. Because when I reviewed the Redmi 1S that I imported from China earlier this year, I didn't face this issue. The battery life was pretty good actually. Even this Redmi 1S that you've been seeing in this video, it lasted almost 7 hours on a looping video playback test. Phones that do last that long generally do not struggle to last through an entire day with moderate usage. This again indicates to the issue being software related. Xiaomi needs to fix this as soon as possible. Talking about the software, the Redmi 1S runs on Android 4.3 Jellybean with Xiaomi's custom MIUI v5 on top. While not the latest, Xiaomi has confirmed that the Redmi 1S will be updated to MIUI v6 by the end of the year. MIUI is drastically different from stock Android, like for example, it doesn't even come with an app drawer. But that being said, it does bring with it a ton of functionality. MIUI's success stems from the fact that most of these features are aimed at making the experience better rather than being fodder for a marketing team to work with. Simple day-to-day tasks like moving apps between home screens or organizing them into folders, it's all much simpler and easier here. You can swipe anywhere to pull down the notification bar, reorder the quick toggles, or even change the way they are displayed entirely. From the lock screen, you can hold the home key to turn on the flashlight or double tap the center to access the music player controls. There's a lot of functionality loaded here. We have a separate video listing our top 44 tips and tricks with MIUI. Though we've used a Mi 3 in that video, most of those tips would be applicable to the Redmi 1S. I'll leave a link to that video in the description down below. Feel free to check that out for a more detailed look at MIUI. Now coming back, when it comes to the preloaded apps, again, most are actually useful rather than being bloatware. For example, the security app is a cleaner, data monitor, block list, power manager, antivirus, and permissions manager all rolled into one. And then we have the themes app that offers granular controls over your customization options. You can change everything from your icons to lock styles to fonts or even boot animations, all that without requiring root access. Now, if you've been following Xiaomi and MIUI for a while, I'm sure you'd have come across a common complaint that MIUI is a memory hog, it uses way too much memory, it affects the user experience. I'm happy to report that that's not the case here. Here we've got a second generation Moto G that's on KitKat 4.4.4. Motorola uses an almost stock version of Android here. As you can see, with all the user apps cleared from memory, both the Moto G and the Redmi 1S have almost the same amount of free RAM left. So, coming back to the user experience itself, it's pretty good, smooth and stable. Occasionally you might have an app crash on you, but that's more the exception rather than the norm. For the most part, the experience is pretty good. Now with that being said, we get to the price. The Redmi 1S is priced at Rs 5,999 here in India. And at that price point, it really is hard to blame the 1S for any of its shortcomings, especially given that barring Motorola, every other manufacturer charges 3 to 4 times more for offerings with similar specs. So let's put things into perspective now, shall we? In the pros column, we've got a mostly solid build, a decent display, good call reception and audio quality, great specs for the price, an amazing camera, solid software, and a killer price tag. Under cons, we've got battery life, availability, which is always an issue with Xiaomi devices. The display being overly reflective and a fingerprint magnet means that gets onto the cons column as well. The lack of backlight for the capacitive keys and the thick bezels result in build making an appearance here too. I honestly feel the last two cons are acceptable given the price. Availability and battery life, on the other hand, are major issues. Maybe Xiaomi will fix the battery with an update, maybe they won't, but if you're looking to pick up a Redmi 1S, subpar battery life as of today is something that you need to be prepared to deal with. And as far as availability goes, well, it's a Xiaomi device, there's not much you can do about it, but cross your fingers and hope you get to see that buy now button. Anyway, the bottom line here is that the Redmi 1S is a device that punches well above its weight. Yes, it does have its quirks, but what device doesn't? If you are looking for a device in this price range that offers the best value for your money, the best bang for your buck, the Redmi 1S is your best option. Anyway, that's my perspective. What do you guys think? Do you think the Redmi 1S offers great value? Are you just annoyed by Xiaomi's marketing tactics? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, with that, we get to the end of this review. Hope you guys liked it, hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, do stay subscribed. If you do want to pick up a Redmi 1S, you can do that from flipkart.com. I'll leave a direct link right below the like button in the description. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please do share this video if you can. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4E Tech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.